352-444-POOL.
All right, thank you, Joe. 20 minutes before 11 o'clock, another beautiful day in Ocala. The weather looks like it's hot, and I guess that's no surprise. After all, you live in Florida, and it's June. So let me see what it is exactly. 87 degrees right now. There is a chance of rain today, about a 65% chance of rain now. It looks like it'll start around 2-ish or so, and high is around 92 before we're done, so just a little bit warmer than it is now. Temperatures tonight, 73. So take that. Copy and paste it for tomorrow. Pretty much the same thing. Friday, about a 50% chance of rain, but otherwise the same. Saturday, about a 90% chance of rain. That's a little bit earlier. It's at 100. Sunday, a 95% chance of rain. Robin, you're leaving on Monday.
Yes, I am.
On a road trip, and at least in our area, you have well, you're leaving early in the morning, though, right?
Yeah, about 5 o'clock.
So you should get out of the area, unless this is one of those big areas of rain. You should be out of the area before the rain hits.
Yeah, we're leaving from Lake City. So
anyway, so you're going to have fun. You're going to take a road trip in your brother's
RV,
motorhome.
Yeah, motorhome. It's
nice.
Not a full RV, but it's a motorhome. It's 32 feet. Really nice.
So we're not quite up to the summer solstice yet.
No, but I'm looking forward to that.
But I do have some fascinating summer solstice traditions from around the world.
Okay, excellent.
So I thought I would share that with you.
Nice.
One of them, some of these you might want to go to. Oh, you don't have to leave. Oh, you're closing the door. Okay. One of the most coveted seats around the world for the Northern Hemisphere's summer solstice is on the grounds of Stonehenge.
Nice.
Stonehenge, whatever it is, whoever put it up there, that's not known. But what we do know is that it showcases the ascending light of the solstice, the sunrise on the morning of the summer solstice aligns perfectly with a circle carved in stone at the site. Mm-hmm. So that leads to the theories from history buffs or scientists or mystical seekers and all that kind of thing of what might have done that. I mean, who might have done that and what its purpose was for. Mm-hmm. But anyway, it is there. There's a couple of places in New York City that you can do that too, by the way.
Yeah.
Quite by accident.
Yeah.
In Cronia, Greece, ancient Greece, the summer solstice was the most egalitarian day of the year. I'll just say that word and pretend. I'll just pretend I know what it means.
Okay, I don't. I can.
Oh, look it up. Look it up. EGALIT.
Okay.
ARIAN. Egalitarian.
Okay.
In Greece, ancient Greece, the summer solstice was the most egalitarian day of the year. We're going to find out what it means in a moment. During the Greek festival of Cronia, social hierarchy was largely abandoned in favor of a level playing field for all classes. Okay, I see what this means. According to the Britannica Encyclopedia, slaves and slave owners celebrated on the summer solstice. Everybody was equal for that one day. Big whoopty.
Yeah, exactly.
The day was meant to emulate the golden age of Kronos when no one had to labor for a living and all of humanity was considered equal.
Yeah, that's what it means.
Egalitarian means equality?
Yep, that's what it says. From the French word égal, meaning equal.
Okay, didn't know that.
Yep, I didn't either. Now I learned something new.
That's in Greece. In Chichen Itza, Mexico. Chichen Itza. This is the pyramids of Chichen Itza on Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula.
Okay.
Wonderful place to celebrate the longest day of the year. The precise construction and engineering of the pyramids create a visual display twice a year in which the central pyramid of El Castillo is bathed in pure sunlight on one side and full shadow on the other. Thousands of spectators, both religious and pagan,
of course,
come from near and far to celebrate the solstice in a view of this ethereal spectacle. There you go, in which the pyramid appears to be cut in two. Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah, I like stuff like this. I think it's pretty cool.
The solstice bonfires in Austria, another way we celebrate summer in this planet. High in the mountains of the beautiful Tyrolean region of Austria.
Okay.
The long hours of sunlight are celebrated with bonfires inspired by ancient tribal customs. Lit across rural areas in an incarnation of earth worship, the fires draw revelers drawn by both mysticism and paganism. Modern-day bonfire attendees mostly are naked, and and they enjoy the panoramic view. I bet they do.
Yeah.
And there's a subcategory which I won't click on. Weird ways that sunlight affects your body.
Okay.
All right.
There you go. If it can put a pyramid in too, then it can do something else.
Honey, look, I made a sundial. Look. Honey, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. It's 2 o'clock.
This is great.
Look, honey, it's 2 o'clock. See the shadow? Look, look, look.
Yeah, she says, I love the profile.
The next one is in Finland. Johannes, Finland. If you've suffered a relentless winter far from the equator's warmth, which is, of course, Finland, you'll understand why cold climate countries truly rejoice around the summer solstice. Scandinavians celebrate one of their main holidays around the June solstice, referred to as Johannes, or midsummer in Finland. Friends and families gather at cottages in the countryside to fish, boat, relax in saunas, and light bonfires, with a history of casting spells at midsummer to find a spouse or increase fertility. The holiday is also popular with nudists and marriage proposals.
There you go.
Well, there you go. Now, that would be an interesting marriage proposal.
Nudist, I'm here.
There you go. Good. I'm glad.
I can't imagine you proposing in the nude, Joe.
Why not? I'm glad you can.
Getting on one knee.
As long as you're careful.
So,
But hey, if
are you familiar with the topic? Let me tell you what the topic is.
I heard nude. I was walking by. I've been on the phone all morning. I heard nude. Okay, what are they talking about now?
These are
all letters go to Larry.
The summer solstice traditions around the world. So far, 2 of them involve people dancing around naked.
And the problem with that is?
Nothing.
All right.
I'm just telling you what happens. And
what goes up can't come down.
All right, so
spinning round and round.
So we're up to the Midnight Sun Festival in Alaska.
I was going to say, when is it midnight and Sunday? It's the only place I can think of.
Midnight Sun Festival in Fairbanks, Alaska.
Yeah.
This is 150 miles south of the Arctic Circle.
Yes.
With the ground often still blanketed in snow in June, Alaskans embrace the light-filled moment where the sunlight shines at midnight.
That's where you shake, rattle, and roll, and you don't have to do anything.
The Midnight Sun Festival.
Well, I've been in...
I would love to see
where was
that.
I? Illinois. It was like 10 o'clock at night. It was still light.
Oh,
I forget
my.
where I was.
Yeah, further up you go north.
Battle
Yeah.
Creek, Michigan, or somewhere up that way.
Yeah.
I remember it was like 10 o'clock at night. It was just starting to get dark. I thought, whoa.
Did you get some cereal while you were in Battle Creek?
Yes, I did. I did. I got one. I was on one of the very last tours of the Kellogg's company.
Oh, my.
I don't think the younger generation knows all those names. Like Battle Creek meant cereal. Hershey meant chocolate. Well, they might know that one because that's the name of the
That's
chocolate.
the name of the town.
Plymouth was a car dealer, right? A car manufacturer.
Or Massachusetts.
Right. What was in Massachusetts?
Plymouth Rock.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There you go. For those that didn't see, Larry just looked way up in the air with his eyes.
Detroit cars.
Detroit
Tigers.
Hollywood movies.
Hollywood, Florida.
I'm talking about when you try to figure.
What
we used to
equals?
sort of know what was made or came from each city, right? At least in this country, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, different people know different things.
Like Winston-Salem cigarettes,
Exactly.
right?
Right. Where is that? In North Carolina. Where's? I can't. I took the tour. Marlboro. That was in Winston-Salem, I guess.
I bet it was. Yeah.
That was. The outside is one gigantic cigarette outside, but it was modern looking. It was
Bethlehem. I don't mean the one in
Bethlehem Steel.
Yeah, Steel.
Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So I wonder if that's like something that's lost in the younger generation.
If they've traveled, it would stick in their mind. Like I did up and down the East Coast a lot. So things like Williamsburg. Where? From Williamsburg, Virginia.
Right.
But then there's Williamsburg Busch Gardens. There's Williamsburg's Whitewater Water Park. And then there's Roanoke. Right. I mean, it's all right there within a half hour of everything. And then of course the big amusement park, which is King's Dominion, just outside of Richmond, Virginia, which is right off of. You can't miss it. It's right off of 95. But the next exit is the exit to Williamsburg, Virginia. So it's right. It's all right. Strategically, but yeah, different thing. Stanley products, Connecticut.
And what do they make?
Stanley
Steel?
No, Stanley tools.
Oh, tools. Okay,
Tools, the wrenches and all.
Okay.
Or Ma Bell, that's New Haven. telephones, Ma Bell.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't.
Western was well, when we had coin-operated telephones, it was Western Electric telephone, blah, blah, blah. But it was Hartford, Connecticut.
You're right. I remember
Things like that. Oh, doggone it. The helicopters. I can't think of the name of it now. Brain.
Oh, my.
But the big helicopters, Pratt & Whitney.
Oh, okay.
That's all. Sikorsky helicopters. That's the one I was looking for.
And where were they made?
They're made in Stratford, Connecticut.
Yeah, well, that was kind of what we were talking about. The name of the city, and you automatically would know what was made there.
Oh, okay. Stratford, Connecticut.
That once upon a time, but I wouldn't have known that one.
Yeah, right. Well, again, I'm from there, but...
Or Cape Canaveral, you might have said.
Yeah.
Rocket
For the
launches.
rockets, yeah.
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 Right?
Yeah, cities, what's the first thing when you say Orlando?
Yeah, well, Disney.
Disney.
Obviously.
Obviously, that's obviously, but to most people. But Orlando is there. You say that to someone that's from Orlando Center.
Correct, yeah.
Is different than Kisseme's closer to Disney than Orlando is, kind of thing. But is it pronounced Kissimmee or is it pronounced Kissimmee? That's don't laugh. That was a big.
I know. I've been through that.
The whole. That's like the story. The two guys drove down from up north and they argued the whole way down about that. So they went to the restaurant and they were arguing. So finally he went up to the guy, in the front. He says, "Okay, we had an argument. I'm not going to say it, but can you tell us where we are?" And the guy looked at him and he said, "Burger King." So it was
that's funny.
Yes. Some once in a while I get a chuckle out of that.
We had a new guy on the radio, and he was not from Ocala, and he kept pronouncing it Ocala. Or Ocala. He kept Ocala. Okay.
Ocala.
Yeah.
And I came in and I said, the city is pronounced Ocala, just so you know. And I wasn't trying to be mean or a know-it-all, but I knew how to pronounce the name of the city.
Oh, sure.
But because he didn't believe me, he continued to say it.
Ocala.
He thought I was just setting him up for an embarrassing moment on the radio.
If he listened to the people around him, he might learn something.
All right. Let's see. Summer solstice traditions.
Go ahead.
In the secret solstice in Iceland is when they have a big music festival in Reykjavik.
How you pronounce that?
Reykjavik.
Wait, we'll call him up and ask.
In Vestalia in Rome.
That's easy to pronounce, Rome.
The Roman women traditionally would visit the Vestal Temple and make offerings to the goddess, to the Vestal Virgins.
Oh, my.
Wasn't there a song about that?
Yeah, there was.
I don't know.
Whiter Shade of Pale.
But as
by Procol Harum.
As the times go by, there's less and less people going there.
Well, it says here only women were permitted to enter the temple, and a cake was baked using consecrated waters from a spring considered sacred. Modern Italians still embrace the solstice as a time of new beginnings and nudist worship.
Nudist?
That's what it says. La Fiesta di San Giovanni.
Well, they're not going to be virgins for long.
Is still observed with similar rites of water, fire, and dancing.
There you go. What I say?
There you go. What is the song, Robin? Vestal Virgins.
That's Procol Harum, Whiter Shade of Pale.
Whiter Shade of Pale.
Yeah.
Hey, you're just showing off. I'm good. I know the song. I didn't know that part of the lyrics.
The Mayan solstice in Guatemala.
Ha.
Here's what they do there. They chase the grand jaguar.
Idiots.
Is that a guy dressed up as a jaguar?
I don't know.
I hope it's like the Grand Poobah or something, the Grand Jaguar.
They go to the altars like the Temple of the Moon and the Temple of...
Yeah, the Temple of the Moon.
So now they're nudist shooting the moon. Okay.
Well, I didn't get to any nudist in this one yet. Tikal is one of the most famous Mayan ruins in Central America, and rituals surround the altars.
Okay.
There you go. Right on the... the light of the equinox makes its way through the mountains. There you go.
Well, that must
Nice.
look pretty.
I bet it does. In Ivan Kupala, Russia, here's how they celebrate the summer solstice.
How?
They have an event called Ivan Kupala.
Well, gee, that's a coincidence.
It's shortly after the longest day of the year, traditionally in early July. An effigy is erected.
Okay.
The plants and grasses are burned to ensure the summer will have a bountiful harvest. The children have water fights, and they
that's cool.
They throw water at passersby.
That's even cooler. Yes. I wonder if they allow water balloons.
We could do that here.
Water balloons.
Yeah.
We get arrested probably. Standing out there in the courtyard of the Paddock Mall and throwing water balloons at people.
That would offend me.
Yeah, they get mad.
I was watching this thing on YouTube. I was watching this thing where they filled balloons with shaving cream instead of water.
Oh, really?
Oh, my
But did they go?
Yeah. They threw them at people.
But did it go when it hit the people?
Yeah. Well, not always.
It just bounced?
We saw a water balloon game in Rainbow Springs. Have you ever seen this? There's 20 people in a line.
Oh, throw a pack of fall.
And 20 people looking at them in another line. And so you have a water balloon, and you pass it to the guy and take a step back.
Yeah.
Pass it to the guy and take a step back.
Well, see, I did that years and years ago. It was a tradition. We did it every year at the picnic, except we used raw eggs. And the trick was, if you're wearing rings, take all your rings off. Put it in your pocket. And when you catch the egg, you don't just catch it in front of you. You glide it to the side of you. Go with it, and if you can, spin in a circle. So the force continues to slow it down, and you don't break the egg. But I've seen people miss the egg, and it bounced. The way it hit just bounced on the grass. The other ones hit the grass, a little pebble. Oh, the best one is where they
And the winners are?
The one, I've seen them throw 20 feet away.
The two that are left, yeah, sure.
20 feet away, and they catch them and they roll. And, of course, then you get the girl, oh, boy! Go to the hose, wash them down.
All right, in Simmerdin, Scotland, they celebrate the advent of summer.
Yeah. Can't believe it. Scotland's going to give you something there, aye?
They have 19 hours of daylight on the summer solstice. Motorcyclists gather for a rally, which includes music, games, plenty of food, local spirits.
I can't get no more. That was good invite.
It begins at sunrise and ends 19 hours later at sunset. There you go.
I can have a little Scottish there, a little bit of drink there. I can have that, no problem.
There you go.
I can have a lot of that there. That sounds good to me.
In Norway, the Norwegians mark the period where the summer starts.
Where does it start?
Let's see, on June 23rd.
Okay, then.
Revelers across the country light bonfires, dance around a maypole naked.
Yeah.
And engage in other festivities to mark.
Where are the cameras when I need them? Here is a moment.
The largest bonfire in the country is built in Alesund on the west coast.
I wonder what they build it out of. Usually pallets, I presume.
Let's see, naked brides and grooms put on.
Watch out for those hot ashes.
Mock weddings. They're not real weddings. They're mock weddings.
Of course, you know why, right?
To indicate a sign of new life. Everyone indulges in plenty of herring.
I love herring. Old herring. It's
herring. I'm sorry.
Herring.
Did you lose your herring?
Yeah, a long time ago. But I found it later.
Okay, they have herring, beer, and aquavit.
What's aquavit?
Can you look that up?
Aquavit.
Aquavit.
That is the juices from the herring squeezed and then put in fermented and added yeast.
I have the holiday is called Slinningsballet.
Slinningsballet. Okay.
A distilled spirit that is principally produced in Scandinavia.
That didn't tell anybody, but it's alcoholic.
Doesn't tell you anything.
It's alcoholic.
Where it has been produced since the 15th century, it's distilled from grain and potatoes and is flavored with a variety of herbs.
Well, I was pretty close, wasn't I? Put the yeast in there and let it do its thing.
It's 40% alcohol by volume or 80
Wow! 40%. That's not much.
Yeah, or 80 proof.
Oh, we're about done again.
We are at that point, yeah.
Well, thank you for inviting me for the few moments I interjected. All
right, we got to move forward. What do we do next? Lauren Tarshish is coming on.
I don't know.
She's got a book called I Survived, The Battle of D-Day, 1944. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. President Trump, after a ceremony in England marking 75 years since the D-Day invasion, met with about 300 of the men who were there.
Straight on. Thank you very much.
news with the First Lady, Queen Elizabeth, and Prince Charles.
President Trump heads to Ireland for his first visit as president, where there's a planned meeting with the prime minister. Tomorrow, the president heads to France. He's expected to visit Normandy on the 75th anniversary of the invasion before holding bilateral meetings with President Emmanuel Macron.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland. Mexico's Foreign Minister Marcelo Ebrard is in D.C. trying to work out a deal to prevent new tariffs on Mexican imports.
We are looking for an agreement. I am always an optimistic.
Those tariffs kick in Monday and then escalate every month if President Trump is not satisfied the Mexican government's doing enough to stop illegal border crossings into the United States. This is Fox News.
36 days. That's how long it takes the average company to find their next hire. Glassdoor can help you quickly find the right job candidate in half the resumes. From 62 million job seekers, Glassdoor only matches you with qualified candidates who have the skills and experience your small business needs to grow. And Glassdoor hires are committed. They're 30% more likely to stay with your business longer. Go to glassdoor.com/hire. Glassdoor. Find the right fit for your business.
Pros do it right by relying on trusted brands because your reputation depends on it. Lowe's is here to help by stocking more of the brands you trust, like DeWalt and Werner. We stock the largest in-store selection of DeWalt power tools and accessories of any national retailer. And now you can get a DeWalt 4-tool combo kit for just $229. That's $170 savings. Plus save 30% on Werner ladders, step stools, and work platforms. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Offer valid through 6/9 U.S. only.
Here is your 1-minute news brief. Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill repealing a law that let elected officials place their assets in a blind trust to avoid revealing if their investments created a conflict of interest.